Welcome to the Accountancy Learning AAT Sample Paper Debriefs. I'm Sarah, and in this video I'll take you through the AAT Principles of Costing Sample Paper 1 Task 4. So Task 4 is about calculating overhead absorption rates and looking at the behaviour of costs. So we're told that Grover Sachs Limited are manufacturers of cleaning products. And for part A of this task, we are asked to complete the following table showing fixed costs, variable costs, total costs and unit costs at the different levels of productions. We're asked to enter our figures for unit costs to 2 decimal places, but other figures must be rounded to the nearest whole pound. So the unit cost, so this bit here, needs to be to 2 decimal places. So let's look then. We've got fixed costs of 30,000. We've got variable costs of 12,500 when the units are at 2,000, which gives us total costs of 42,500 and therefore a unit cost of £21.25. So now we need to complete this for 4,000 units. So 4,000 units, fixed costs, they're fixed, so they aren't going to change. It doesn't matter whether we create 2,000 units, whether we create 20,000 units, the fixed costs are always going to be there. So under 4,000 units for that level of production, the fixed costs will remain the same. Now the variable costs are the costs that we have to do a calculation here to work out what is the variable cost per unit, because the total will change based on the level of production. So to do our variable cost for the 4,000, so our variable cost then, we've got 12,500. We'll divide that by 2,000 units, which will give us a unit per unit variable cost, and then multiply it by our new quantity, 4,000, to give us a £25,000 total cost. So we're not given the per unit variable cost, so we need to work it out by the information we're given in the question. The total cost then, so we are then going to add our fixed costs and variable costs together to give us 55,000 total cost. And then for our unit cost, we have then got our 55,000 total cost, and we will divide that by our number of units that we are making. So 4,000 units. So 55,000 divided by 4,000. Remember, we're going to 2 decimal places for our unit cost. So under unit cost, it's £13.75p to 2 decimal places. Now we can do the same for the volume of 12,500. So again, our variable cost, we're going to do the same calculation. We can take our original cost, divide that by 2,000, and then multiply it by our new number of units, 12,500, to give us 78,125. Our fixed costs again stay the same because they are fixed no matter what the level of production. And again, we add our variable and our fixed together to get our total cost. 108,125. So then our unit cost, we've got our total here of 108,125, and we'll divide that by our 12,500 units that we've made or are going to make to give us an £8.65 per unit cost to 2 decimal places. So when you're looking at these questions, make sure you understand what the types of behaviours are. So your fixed will stay the same no matter how many things you make, but your total variable cost will change dependent on the level of production. Then we've got to complete the following statement. As the units of production increases, unit costs, then we need to decide does it increase or decrease, and then why. So let's have a look. Our unit costs at 4,000, at 2,000, 21.25. At 4,000 it's 13.75, and at 12,500 it's £8.65. So the per unit cost, so we're looking per unit, decreases. And why does it decrease? And we've got the option of saying whether the variable costs or the fixed costs remain the same at all levels. So it's because our fixed costs remain the same at all levels. So it means our 30,000, the £30,000 fixed costs that we've got here, is then being split over a much larger number of units as the level of output increases. So therefore the overall unit cost will decrease because the fixed costs are spread over a larger number of units as output increases. And that brings us to the end of task 4.